we actually call it a Kazumatsu full. Notice a little bit of leg separation while twisting. Oh, and his foot, he lands outside that white line, which means he'll suffer a 3/10 deduction for, 5 for stepping outside that line. It's detrimental.
It's 0.8 of a point for a fall, and then there are other deductions, 1, 3, and 0.5 of a point, depending on the size of a step, the other technical errors that might be associated with it. Here's one of my favorite gymnasts. You got to love Fabian Hambuchen. We used to call him Harry Potter when he wore those little round glasses.
Yeah, I remember.
It's hard to believe at just 19 years of age. This is his 4th World Championship competition.
That's amazing. I remember him at Anaheim in 2003 back in the training gyms, and we were just like, who is this little guy? And he was working his tail off on pommel horse.
Coached by his father. Spiridonov 15-7, 7-5. Pretty good score there.
He's not so little anymore, though, huh?
No.
He's Germany's go-to guy. Let's see what he's got here.
Last year's World Championships, he had a dream competition, sticking nearly every landing that he attempted. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's pretty. Compare that to the previous vaults. Definitely see the execution much cleaner, much more control for the landing. That should score well for the Germans.
Yeah, he is, as you said, the go-to guy. There's a tremendous amount of expectation from Fabian Hambuchen.
Legs are plastered together there during the twisting.
He was 3rd last year in the World Championships in the all-around and 3rd on vault. That's a tough landing, isn't it?
It is. Slightly blind. But because we do a lot of these 2.5 type elements, even on floor now, our air awareness is improved dramatically. It's easier to find yourself before the landing.
16-175 for Fabian Hambuchen. Wow.
And that's great.
Actually 0.1 of a point less than what he scored in the qualifying round, but a terrific effort on vault. Huang Shu's 15.225, about 0.1 of a point less than his qualifying round. So the theme today, the scores are a little bit tighter, which I think is appropriate. The most important thing is not the number of the score, but ranking the gymnast. The best gymnast needs to get the best score, whatever value that is.
That's right. And let's see what Yang Wei does here. I know he trains one of the highest starts in the world on this event, even higher than his teammate Chen Yibing. The set could potentially start from 7.5. Yes.
Even the great Jordan Jovchev of Bulgaria, I think, does a 7.4 routine. And he is essentially a specialist. Yang Wei is a balanced all-arounder.
In order to get that high of a start value, you have to do combinations of swings and strength, which he's doing here. And oh, that's a dismount I'm familiar with. Huh?
I know you popped that double layout, double twist. That is just, I don't know how you have the gas at the end of the routine to do one of those.
Well, you know, a lot's riding on technique for sure. And one thing you have to do, especially on these leather straps, really have to drag long through bottom. Something that he does really well.
It's a good point. There is a difference in the equipment. The Spieth equipment, which is based here in Germany, they use leather straps, which means it's a slower, longer swing through the bottom. In the United States, we use primarily
polyester.
Right, kind of a combination, a weave
Right.
combination of nylon, and it's a little quicker through the bottom, so a little bit different technique when you're competing in Europe than in the United States. Nikolai Kryukov is the warrior of this Russian team.
That's right. He's phenomenal on this event, as you can see with those beginning peach elements.
It's just phenomenal that he's here. He's 28 years of age and suffered a damaging knee injury on the vault here in the qualifying rounds, was hobbled off the podium, and I don't know how he got through the competition, and oh my goodness, what a tough gentleman, because you can see he can barely walk.
That's incredible. He's putting it together.
Now here's a guy who was a world champion in
15.9. That's a
99. The championships in Tianjin, China. 10 years ago, he was a silver medalist in the vault at the World Championships. To be at that high level for that long,
10 years,
come back from a torn Achilles, he is just a warrior. There's no question about it. And a lot of people were impressed with his toughness the other day when he jammed his knee on a vault and could barely get through the rest of the competition. But to help Russia qualify for the Olympic Games, which was one of the key goals at these World Championships, the top 12 teams in the world qualify to.
True team player there.
Yes, he did. On that note, while we have a second, the top 12 teams in the world who will go as complete teams to the Olympics: China, Japan, Germany, United States, Russia, Romania, Spain, Korea, France, Italy, Canada, Belarus. It was devastating for the Ukraine to finish 13th.
Huge surprise. Usually the Ukrainians are a lock-in for every Olympics.
Exactly, and a medal contender most often. Switzerland, Great Britain, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Greece, Australia, and the Netherlands, the top 20. But just the top 12 will be able to go as complete teams to the Olympics. And then there are permutations. The next group of teams get to send a couple of athletes, and then other athletes are waived into the Olympics if they're reigning world champions. And they also consider regional considerations based on where athletes are from, so that they get a complete diverse representation at the Olympics, in addition to the best 12 teams in the world. Boy, this is taking a long time for these scores. Boy, last year at the World Championships in Aarhus, that was one of the running themes, was the amount of time it took to get the scores out. Rafael Martinez from Spain now on high bar. This is the first high bar we've seen at these World Championships.
It's a Tkachev element there.
Whoa.
Some new rules on high bar. The judges are really looking for skills to finish in a handstand or close to a handstand. If the skills don't, they're going to incur a level of deduction based on how far off from the handstand they are. So scores are actually running a little bit lower on high bar these days, and this could also be a make or break event for any team. Able to score well on high bar might be in pretty good shape. Tkachev element there. He caught with a little bit of bent arms. Judges are also looking for rhythm of the routine. Those Rabalko elements especially is where they're targeting these deductions.
The score rings for Yang Wei, 15.85.
Yang Wei's score on rings is 15.85.
At a 16.35
in the prelims
qualifying round. But
This next guy on...
This is insane.
I don't know what I need to say here. Just
Chen Yibing.
Watch this.
He's the reigning world champion on this event, and you're going to see why.
Notice the positions and where they are in relation to the rings. It's a Hazarian to L cross, and wish we had a better angle, but look at that there, the invert, how low that is. His head is actually below the rings. Just looks like a rock when he hits these positions.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the judges want you to go directly to the position. They don't want you to catch it in some sort of nominal position and then lower into the L cross to get full credit on one of those swinging to strength moves. Oh, this just is incredible.
And again, that lower down, not even necessary. Doesn't count towards the routine, but just there for flair. He's just showing off how strong he is.
In case you wondered. Oh,
look at that. Kicks out of that dismount.
Look at those biceps. They're as big as his head.
I think he's going to soak that in for a moment. That was a nice set for China.
You're not kidding. We'll see him in the ring final, which will be the battle of the strongmen for sure. China's starting to feel comfortable. They've off to a incredible start on floor, horse, and rings. They'll go to the vault where they excel, and parallel bars where they're the best in the world, and they'll have to wrap it up on high bar, where if they have one vulnerability, it's certainly on high bar.
High bar, that's right. But what the Chinese are known for doing is exploiting their strengths, just like this routine here. It's routines like this that really set the Chinese apart and give them that margin, that cushion above.
That's just
the
ideal.
rest of
Look
the
at that position. We talk about being more than 15 degrees above the vertical, but look at the positions as he goes straight to a perfect Maltese, level with the rings.
Inside the rings, I mean, it's very hard to do.
He says, folks, we are on our way.
Sense of relief
to
as
locking
well.
up.
That's right.
At the halfway point, they are looking very, very strong. And as I said, they're coming into two events where they are among the best in the world, vault and parallel bars.
That's right.
16-4-5 for Chen Yibing.
And well deserved. That was a very, very nice set.
And in line with the other scores today, just slightly less than his score in the qualifying round, which is a 16-6. We saw Rafael Martinez, a 14-6-2-5. Is a perfect example of the difference in scoring on a ring routine versus a high bar routine.
Exactly.
Rafael Martinez hit his routine, and it's almost 2 points less than Chen Yibing's ring routine.
So it actually changes the strategy of what you want to do during these team competitions, and China's got the right idea. Exploit those events that score higher.
Safoshkin, we saw him on the rings for Russia. This is an event where he doesn't necessarily have the smooth style and execution, but the Russian team is rather decimated with injuries. And that was strange.
See, that happens on P-bars. His finger got caught underneath. He's actually swinging on top of his index finger, probably, but kept going with it.
Kind of muscling his way through this routine. It's not pretty.
That's right.
But it's
a routine.
It'll work, and it was a hit.
That's right.
Safoshkin had a 15-4-5 in the qualifying round. What do you think about those moves?
You know, I'm glad they brought him back into the sport, because they definitely add a little bit of flair, almost a release type element on P-bars. It's a crowd pleaser. You can see he has to wear those pads for elements like those and the other upper arm skills.
Is 14.6 for Safoshkin. We'll be back with more of the Artistic World Gymnastics Championships live from Stuttgart. Let's take a look at the standings. At the halfway point in rotation 3, China now starting to stretch out their lead over Russia, Germany, and Spain. And you see Korea, Romania, Japan, and the United States have yet to compete in this half of the rotation.
now the head of the race is Vervecken, ranked 3rd in the world.
Oh, and he just went down.
What was that? Vervecken goes down. Look at this lead. They better be careful or he could be gone. Now he is benefiting from a lot of luck.
He's not giving up.
And now Vervecken loves it back, and he just takes it like candy from a baby. As Vervecken, he gets the gold.
Did you see that? Did you see that? That was amazing.
Can it be done? It's really tight to 33. They've done it.
Very fast and synchronized, totally matched here, looking great. They really nailed it. I don't think they could have done a better job.
A single line, etched into space and time, is limitless to some. But to others, it's the edge. WCSN embraces its wild side with athletes willing to put it all on the line for the gold. If you spin it, flip it, jump it, grind it, you'll find it all lands here on WCSN. The Edge. Stay on or falter.
Toe side rails from Neuer.
He's going. It's beautiful. Looking strong, leading the way.
He's amongst the leaders. He's shooting fast.
Tab 9.
He's carving up this hill here in Hinterstoder.
WCSN.com, your destination for World Championship sports. Live events.
This is an amazing sport.
Highlights.
Alison Felix takes it from Sanya Richards and Veronica Campbell.
Photo gallery. Sports you live and love. WCSN.com.
Kick. Verb. To thrust out the foot or feet with force. Noun. A feeling of pleasure or marked enjoyment. A thrill. Kick. Also known as a burst of speed at the end of a race.
Open your mind. They're neck and neck now. Into the finish line. Oh my, he's done it.
And we're back at the World Championships live from Stuttgart. Koreans on high bar. A release element coming up that's called a Kovacs. Done well. That Rabalko element, judges are really looking for how close to a handstand the element finishes. You see some leg separations there at the top. The judges definitely take notice of that. Dismount. Double twisting, double layout. Or we call it a double-double. It's a good set for the Koreans.
Young Tae-young. Salariu now from Romania.
And the Romanians, parallel bars definitely are not one of their most well-known events, but they have the ability to grind it out and stay.
Boy, and they have grinded it out in the past, haven't they?
And when the dust settles, they're usually a player in the end.
High bar is the same. Romanians very, very good on floor, pommel horse, vault.
Right.
But for some reason, have not excelled in parallel bars.
And that's a decent set there. Not too much difficulty, but executed well.
They did muscle their way through parallel bars enough to earn the bronze medal in the team competition in the Olympics in Athens in 2004. Solario, a very balanced gymnast, 6th in the all-around at the World Championships in 2005 in Australia. Yang Tae-young's score of a 14.3 on high bar. Yang Tae-seok up now.
That's a Jaeger release element.
Invented by a German gymnast. Nice tribute to.
Oh,
no! That full twisting front somersault called a Winkler, invented by Danielle Winkler, also a German gymnast. Now, explain what happens when there's a fall like that. The deductions and the compounding complications.
That's right. It's, you know, these days a fall is not 5/10 anymore like it used to be. It's 8/10, so it's very detrimental. And then on top of that, you lose the value of the skill. So a fall can actually mean suffer a 1.5 or a 1.4 in deductions.
Plus, if you don't have any other release move in the routine, then
That's
you won't
right.
necessarily fulfill an element group requirement. So
That's right, but he had that Jaeger in the beginning, so he got it. And when you fall, you have 30 seconds to remount.
Yang Tae-seok, the 25-year-old, this is his best event, so
It's important to note, too, that because these routines are so long, it's actually easier. And ideally, what you want is to hit the routine. It's actually more tiring to fall and go through the emotional roller coaster of psyching yourself back up and finishing the routine.
Flavius Koshi now of Romania for parallel bars.
It's called a peach. Want to do that with locked arms. He had a slight arm bend there into a tapelt. Stutz.
Never figured out why they call that move a peach. Peach basket.
I never did either. Maybe because it.
Oh no!
Was a little off on that Healy element. Decided to straddle and catch himself. Gymnasts do that a lot in training if they're a little bit off.
20-year-old from Reșița in Romania. The European Championships this year. He was 5th in the all-around and 3rd on the pommel horse. That unfortunate because Romania, as we discussed, not exceptional on parallel bars, so they can't really afford a mistake like that.
That's right. Means they'll have to work that much harder on the other events. Here's that Winkler.
Yang Tae-seok, 13.55.
It looked like he had it, but he just didn't get his dowels around the bar enough. And gravity pulled him off.
Kim Ji-hoon. He's 23 years of age. This is his 3rd World Championships. Comes from Seoul. Last year, the Koreans were 11th place as a team, not what they normally expect. You know, it's amazing. Whenever you get to the workout gym at the World Championships, everybody's looking at the Koreans because they do such hard gymnastics. But for some reason, they rarely finish in the medals. How do you explain that?
And that's a good point. Well, especially in this code.
Oh, my.
That's 2 release elements. Doing well so far, especially in this code. Oh.
Double twister? I think he did that on purpose? I guess.
That's a different element there. I had a teammate back at Ohio State that played around with those Ribalco type skills and did a skill just like that. As I was saying about the Koreans, 2 different strategies. You can throw the harder tricks. Obviously, the more harder tricks you throw, the less consistent you become. It's called a quast.
That's another thing that is quite different from my era of competition, is that you could get a good score with a routine that had adequate difficulty and clean execution.
Right.
Now you can come in with a very clean routine, but unless you have the skills, there's just no score there for you, is there?
There isn't, and vice versa. Come in with a difficulty, jam-packed routine, and if it's not executed well, you may not get the score.
We saw after that mistake for Flavius Koshi, only a 14.1 for Romania on the parallel bars.
Still not too bad of a score.
Popescu, their final performer. Popescu is 24 years of age, Romanian national champion. He was on the Olympic team in 2004 that earned that bronze medal.
That element there is called a depelt.
Another move invented by a German gymnast. Much of the origin of the sport of gymnastics can be traced back to the Turner organizations in Germany.
Oh, no. And you hate to see that, because that was a pretty good routine, and that error is just going to be detrimental, because not only is it a fall, but you saw all those large steps before the fall here, about 3 steps, so each one of those steps are going to incur the deduction. There's no mercy points here in gymnastics.
And then he really doesn't get the value of doing a D dismount.
D dismount, that's correct.
So it is a whack.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate for the Romanians. Kim Ji-hun, 14.75.
That element there was called a Coleman, full twisting Kovacs.
Ice on the elbows. You're familiar with that scene, aren't you?
Exactly what that's about. Sport is taking victims.
It has been sort of an overarching theme at these World Championships, is the amount of injuries to some of the best gymnasts in the world. They're being forced to do such high level of difficulty, such long routines.
That's right. And you have
such variety of skills. It really is a bigger test on the gymnast body than ever in the history of the sport, in my impression.
It is, absolutely. And you have to train these skills day in, day out. The moment you least want it to, your body says, I can't take it anymore. That's what's happened to a few gymnasts here.
That's why it's even more remarkable when you see a gymnast like Tomita.
And he's great on this event.
He'll turn 27 in November, to be at the top of the gymnastics world for so long.
Also a ring finalist on this event. See here because of his positions. It's a shoot to invert position. Just very clean gymnast. Like you were saying, Bart, he looks so calm and relaxed and makes everything look easy. Oh, wow. Really mastered that dismount. Pike double front half out.
When you see a balanced gymnast like Tomita or Yang Wei, it seems to me like they're almost a freak of nature in some way, because they are good on 6 apparatus, which are completely different. The rings, which is about swing technique, but mostly brute strength.
That's right.
And then the pommel horse, which is all about swing technique. And the vault and floor, which is about legs and power in the lower body.
Right.
So in order to be a balanced all-around gymnast, I mean, there really are only maybe a dozen guys in the world who can. Paul Hamm is among them, the Olympic champion from the United States. But really, there are several guys who are good on 3, 4 events.
Right.
But to find a 6-event gymnast these days is quite rare.
It's quite rare. And Tomita carries that role quite well.
Sean Golden for the United States. During that rotation, we did not get to see live coverage of the vault. So here is a look back at Sean Golden.
This vault should be good for the U.S. Oh, wow.
And that has a 6.6 start value.
That's going to score well.
Very clean.
Train with him day in, day out in the gym, and he's doing exactly in competition what he does in practice. It's great to see.
16.1, a very good score. The U.S. will certainly climb back up into the contention for medals after the performance on the higher scoring vault. Tomita finished cleanly on the rings. We'll be back with more gymnastics coverage right away.
Another defining moment from the championship corner.
This is for the gold medal. This is for the World Championship. Clear far post, US score. Low and winner again. The 5. That's it. It's over. The United States have won the gold medal. They've defeated Australia in the World Championship final at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre.
A beautiful turn there by Mancuso.
Small backside air, frontside 7.
And Big Mark, just dancing through the gates.
Now at the Olympic Stadium of Thor, look at that! Oh my goodness gracious! Do you believe it?
And here is Bodie Miller. He's never won a World Cup downhill outside of North America. Split time coming up. And Bodie's got the lead by almost a full second. Will he ring in 2007 with a victory? Yes, he's into first. Bodie crashes across the line. A spectacular run by the American Bodie Miller.
The world converges in Stuttgart for the 2007 FIG World Championships for Artistic Gymnastics. The United States, China, Romania, Russia, and the rest of the globe have their sights set on gold. Pressure, competition, and desire will make or break the best of the best. There are no second chances in Germany. Champions will be crowned and reign supreme. Join WCSN for this competition September 5th through the 9th. WCSN, the home of world champions.
Long piece of timber, or array of light. Verb, to send a broadcast signal. To smile. Beam, also known as a prop to balance on.
Open your mind.
Oh, that was a big moment for the Yukins. The first one to go on the beam in that rotation.
We are back in Stuttgart, Germany, at the halfway point in the men's team final competition, the second of 5 exciting days of live coverage only on WCSN. Quick recap on some of the scores from that rotation. Tomita had a 15-6, 7-5 on the rings. And the German crowd anticipating that the German team will continue to be solid as they move to the 4th of 6 events. A very knowledgeable and excited crowd here in Germany. Of course, very loud to support their home team as we take a look at the standing. China starting to stretch out their lead, and yet they're coming up on the big scoring event, the vault. Russia, Korea, Romania, the United States, and Germany 5th and 6th, Japan in 7th, and Spain in 8th. Don't go away.
Since the dawn of man, or shortly thereafter, men have claimed Monday night. Not anymore. It's Ladies' Night on WCSN, a Monday night tradition. Whether it's the women of downhill or the grace of gymnastics, Ladies' Night boasts the 2-for-1 special. Women in sports and the sports women love. So if you're the type of woman who'd rather cycle than shop, grab the remote, because now Monday nights are for the ladies too. Ladies' Night every Monday night on WCSN. WCSN.com brings you the countdown to Beijing.
What a performance there. It's going to be too close to call. And she does it.
Watch World Championships.
Unbelievable stuff here at the World Championships.
Be a part of every world record.
The new world record for the Americans.
Watch your favorite champions win medals daily. Only at WCSN.com.
But it's a free ball. Wilkins puts it away.
Beautiful side kick. Nice jump kick.
Chen mixing it up, taking his eye off that one.
It's a short shot. It's a big one now. Oh, yes, and 20 points to 15. And Thailand certainly deserve to be in that position.
Wrestling fans are in for a treat here. Mahan Lopez of Cuba. Last year's world champion. This man is a beast. 1-0 lead right now for Lopez. Stands up with it and goes for the throw. The mat official awards 5. It's confirmed, and that will end the bout. This match didn't last very long. They call that a suplex in professional wrestling. Here it's a 5-point throw and a victory.
Welcome back to Stuttgart. Bart Connor along with Raj Bhavsar calling this live action for the World Team Championships. Japan now set to vault. Japan 7th of the 8 teams in terms of their team score at this point, but they are headed to the highest scoring event, the vault, and interestingly enough, China will be next, and they have a lead of a little about 2.3 points over Russia, and yet they will extend their lead likely in this rotation. Nice looking vault for Yosuke Hoshi. Yurchenko double twist.
Generally, the guys that are up first for these teams on vault may be doing some of the more conservative vaults like you see here. So Yurchenko, double full, very clean.
Nice form, huh?
Yeah.
Kevin Tan from the United States. Kai Wen Tan is his official name. U.S. goes to the parallel bars now. This could be a very important event for the United States team because
that's right.
It's tough to get a good score on parallel bars, so hit routines are a must here.
And for a ring guy, this Kevin can really swing some P-bars. See here, nice P